Hello, trading is closed on June the 1st, 2022. We always start with our disclaimers. Let's do that. It's my trading plan for tomorrow, 2nd of June. Remember, I can be wrong. Any trade you make should be at your own risk. I have a number of people that are sending me orders for my webinar. It would really help me if you could, as a separate post, tell me what email address you want the webinar sent to. My address is mejt.trades@gmail.com. I can find your email address on PayPal if I try hard enough, but keep forgetting how to do it, and it would save me a lot of time. So review our calls. Look for the pattern with the early low. We got that. Tomorrow has the early high. At an optional target, 4105.42, that actually printed support resistance around that level. We said unless we gapped up and promptly overtook yesterday's high, we should see lower prices. We gapped up smartly, never overtook the high. We did see lower prices. Gap up here was so strong, I think it's pretty tough to trade. Came within a fraction of a point of killing my whole plan. And when it's that close, I think people can be forgiven if they don't act on it. Certainly would have been a lot less clear had we dropped from the open, but it did work out according to the rules we said. Just a reminder of what we said. We have a new target for tomorrow, 4089.44. If we don't gap up smartly, that's my call. Now this pattern comes a day after we hit a new recovery high. We've now closed under that day's low. That's a rejection of yesterday's break to a new high, if it's maintained at tomorrow's open. If we gap up tomorrow, that can substitute for today's close, and that isn't a rejection of the high. And that's not impossible, in spite of the fact that we closed under the high, because we have a stilt. Here's a diamond on stilts. Support is right here, the level of the origin of the left stilt. And there's also a wall into the close, and many times this will gap up. I'm hoping this lower target will print 4089.44, but I can't say gapping up is impossible, and that would kill the whole idea. Here's resistance at the reference from the MEJT reference bar from the morning. That's held, but it's been tested many times. With a wall into the close, you can't rule out gapping up. It's not what I'm looking for, but if it happens, it happens. It doesn't break any rules. I think it's pretty tough to count this. I'm counting this as A. I think we're in ABC for B. That's A bracket of B, and that's B bracket of B. I'd like us to be in B bracket. Correction, C bracket of B. I'd like it to have some relationship to A bracket of B. And what happens around the 40-20 level is kind of interesting. You get, at that point, C bracket of B would be half of A bracket of B. And if you count down from this high, it's possible to count this as A, ABC, with C equal to A. And if that's A, and that's ABC for B, and if we're in wave light blue C, if you hit this 40-20 level, light blue C will be exactly twice light blue A. So you'd have waves balancing out around 40-20 if we do drop. It's one place you could look for a short-term low. But again, it's not the only price. It's not the only place, and at this point we can't even be certain that's the count, but if we do drop, that's one place to look. So, tomorrow's pattern has the early high. We could still gap down. Typically, it's a rally day, high in the final hour. Failure is a straight line drop. There is a lower target. If we don't gap up smartly, it's favored to print. One day after hitting a new recovery high, closed under yesterday's low. If maintained at tomorrow's open, it's negative. Should see lower prices regardless of how we close. If we do drop, I think last week's low will hold, and one level at which there could be supports around 40.20 cash, but dropping is not guaranteed, as we have support from a diamond on stilts, and there's also a wall into the close. So if we're going to recover further, you really want to gap up over the high of this wall, preferably over these highs. But if we keep dropping, the next real support I see is around 40.20, but there could be other levels that I just missed. I can't rule that out. Tomorrow has the early high. It's either a rally or a straight line drop. I think it'll be obvious early on which is which. And that's today's call.